Hello everyone, surely you have all eaten this fish many times, a very strong, fast and aggressive fish, with a long body. Can you guess what kind of fish it is? Let's go with the fisherman fishing for Spanish mackerel. Let's go. Spanish mackerel is one of the most sought-after marine fish in Australia, both as a sport fish and as a food fish. They are prized edible fish, targeted by the recreational and commercial industries for their firm, white and delicious flesh. They have long, narrow stems that are dark green along the top of the stem, turning silver in the middle and bottom. They have a striped pattern of narrow dark, blue or black bands running along the body. They are pelagic fish, living in surface waters, around coastal and offshore coral reefs. Spanish mackerel are often caught with a weight of 2 to 15 kilograms and a length of 55 to 125 centimeters. However, they can weigh up to 40 kilograms and be more than 200 centimeters long. Spanish mackerel migrate along the Australian coast following the warm waters of the East Australian Current south in summer and autumn in search of fish. Bait. They then return north as the water cools before winter. Spanish mackerel can be found in a variety of habitats along much of the coast of Western Australia, the Northern Territory, Queensland and northern New South Wales. Rock fishermen, kayakers, small tugboats and large trawlers can all target Spanish mackerel. Spanish mackerel will be found wherever you find them. Prey throughout their range, from coastal waters just offshore to the continental shelf. Depending on conditions, they can be targeted using a variety of techniques and will respond to a variety of fishing methods including line and line, live bait and dead bait, anchor bait or live and dead fish from rocky headlands. Medium-sized fish weighing up to 8 kilograms will congregate in schools of hundreds while larger fish congregate in small schools or may live alone. Spanish mackerel prefer areas with structure and currents with schools of baitfish around reef edges, bombora reefs, shipwrecks, rocky headlands and large cliffs. Using sonar can be very effective when fishing for Spanish mackerel, as they will mark very clearly on the screen, allowing you to locate and mark schools of fish, then target the area with your preferred plan of attack. Spanish mackerel have extremely sharp teeth, which can cut through the flesh of a careless fisherman like butter. Fishermen who didn't know how to handle them had their fingers cut to the bone, thighs torn open, and feet covered in blood. The best way to catch Spanish mackerel for cooking is to hook a hook to the fish's head and then use it. Wooden stick to tame fish. You can then puncture the fish's brain and bleed the sides of the boat before immediately placing it in the ice mixture to freeze the fish meat. If the fish is left out in the sun or on the deck, the flesh will spoil quickly and become soft. Casting for Spanish mackerel is certainly possible, but is best done next to the boat without touching the fish. The long hook remover is ideal for removing hooks and keeping your fingers injury-free. Because fish are difficult to control, bringing live fish into the boat will cause the fish to kick and bite with their teeth, potentially causing injury to any part of the body that gets in the way, but it also removes slime and fish scales, reducing fish survival. In areas where Spanish mackerel are abundant, they are a major food source for sharks, which will stick to the edges of fish schools. Each season, sharks eat a lot of fish, and they have learned to follow the sound of motors running around and wait for the Spanish mackerel to get hooked before attacking and claiming their catch. Spanish mackerel is an excellent eating fish, and the meat freezes very well. The only problem with this fish is the possibility of ciguatera poisoning, accumulating in larger fish caught in tropical waters. It is theorized that because Ciguatera is a neurotoxin, higher concentrations are found in the backbone, and that if you strain the fish and remove the dark flesh, you can also reduce the risk of consumption. Toxic. Lee says the best eating fish are in the 8 to 12 kilograms range, and he releases any larger specimens to avoid risk. This also helps protect the species and allows large females to reproduce large numbers of offspring. Deep fried in breadcrumbs. Simply dusted with flour and salt and pepper, or cooked with taco seasoning, Spanish mackerel is a delicious dish worth the effort of preparation. A medium to heavy spinning outfit will help you catch Spanish mackerel with ease. If you are fishing for jigs or lures, an average overhead rig with 15 kilograms monofilament line is more than enough. If you are live fishing or club fishing, you will be better off with the medium/heavy size spinning setup, similar to what you use for casting. When fishing, you can use 40 pounds tough trace line as leader, tied with an FG knot on the braided line. However, when using lee shot, you can increase the tough trace line to 60 or 80 pounds. Spanish mackerel are hunted by sight, and reaction works well with many types of fake guns. Using a jig also has the added benefit of requiring less preparation, but can be quite expensive when having multiple casts in one go. High-speed metal jigging, soft plastics and vibrations all work when playing deployed around the fish. A quick retrieve with an inviting lure will attract the target's attention. The go-to for sport fishermen craving the explosiveness of a topwater shot is topwater popper or rod bait. Fishing. Casting a jig to feeding fish on the surface and watching a large Spanish take flight as they burst out of the water chasing the line, is truly a sight to behold. Dribbling lures work well, and the variety of uses that can be used is limited only to the angler's imagination. However, Shallow running targets, 15 to 25 centimeters, work well at 6 to 8 knots. Being particularly effective for sardines, yellow or redheads. In recent seasons, the growth of the deep dive adventure can go down to less than 10 meters and can be fished at the same speed as a shallow running target, which has been proven to be effective on Spanish fish. Pinks, purples and oranges are very successful, especially when the fish are in water 30 to 50 meters deep. Killshot fishing can be extremely effective, and when live bait is hard to find, a well-stocked freezer can help you get rid of the disorder. Lee always has a good supply of deer mackerel, grouper, mackerel, school mackerel and baitfish in the freezer during mackerel season, as these can all be made to breathe very well. Seductive. A carefully prepared response with a powerful hook drawn at 4 to 5 knots will lure Spanish mackerel, and will usually catch more than other methods on a certain date. The good thing about shooting is that a bigger target often results in a bigger fish. For smaller targets like mackerel and grouper, Lee likes to make his own fishing rods. Here is a step-by-step guide to performing drag fishing with the dead gun. An extremely effective way to lure Spanish mackerel is to fish slowly at a speed of 1 to 2 knots, with live baits such as mackerel or yellowtail pompano. Float on one craft and target deep on the other to allow you to cover the entire area of the water column. Deep baits can be developed on a sinking rig, or simply weighted with a 6 to 8 ounces jig about 20 meters down the main line. With a rubber line that can be easily removed during a fight. Deep jack fishing allows you to shift up depending on where the fish are fishing. With depth and stimulation goals matched together, it also helps you word the sentences around these area with location or place marked on the detector by reducing the risk of context ejection. Lee uses this technique in water 20 to 50 meters deep. On baited coral moss areas. It is important to pay attention to the rod tip, as you will see the game begin to move erratically as the Spanish mackerel approaches and then increase as the fish shoot. A set of tools used for live fishing is called a set nib tool and consists of a small swivel that is bent onto 30 centimeters of 40 pounds black coated multifilament line, which is then cast offline into a 20dx point line. With a second smaller 15 cm length of line used in number 2 club style. The DX point hook is small but very strong and sharp, and the club style allows for natural relaxation. This allows you to fish the live line in a straight line as it reduces the speed of the target. Alternatively, you can use single wire, however this is usually only used once and needs to be replaced each time. When fishing this way, you should be prepared at home and have plenty of lines ready because you don't want to waste time when the fish are fishing. If you use large live baits, use fishing tackle that are larger in size to match the size of the fishing tackle and do not add a second or third fishing tackle of a larger size.